Shu Kai collapses in hospital waiting room. Tan Songyun's condition sparks national worry. It was supposed to be a routine checkup. That was what they told the staff. That was what Tan Songyun told herself when she packed her hospital bag with quiet hands. That was what Shu Kai repeated when he held her hand in the car and tried to smile like he always did. But deep inside them both was a feeling that today would be different. And by the time night fell, it was. The fans had not even noticed them slipping out of the house that morning. For the first time in months, there were no reporters waiting at the gate. No drones above the car. No screaming, no flash. Just silence. And perhaps that silence made it easier to hear what was coming. Perhaps that stillness made it impossible to ignore what had been quietly building inside Tan Songyun's body. It had started 2 days earlier. Just a feeling. A tightening in her stomach. A dizziness when she stood. A silence in the baby's movements that didn't last long but lasted long enough to send a chill through her chest. Shu Kai had noticed. She could tell. He didn't say anything, but he didn't sleep that night. Neither of them did. She insisted they wait. He insisted they go. They compromised and called her doctor, who said the words that made everything move faster than either of them was ready for. Come in now. Don't wait. The drive to the hospital was quiet. Shu Kai didn't turn on the radio. He didn't hum like he usually did. His eyes were fixed on the road. His knuckles were white around the steering wheel. Tan stared out the window, both hands on her stomach, whispering soft words to the baby that only she could hear. By the time they arrived, the hospital staff already had a wheelchair ready. The receptionist didn't even ask questions. They were escorted straight to the private maternity wing, where nurses moved quickly and spoke softly. The lights were dim. The halls were too quiet. She was taken inside. He was told to wait. And that was when time stopped. Shu Kai had waited before. He had waited during auditions, during delayed flights, during makeup sessions that lasted 3 hours. He had waited in lines and waited for phone calls and waited for reviews. But he had never waited like this. Never with his heart trying to break through his chest. Never with the taste of fear this sharp on his tongue. He paced for the first 10 minutes. He sat for the next 5. Then stood again. Then Saturday. Then stood. He called her manager. No answer. He called her mother. No answer. He messaged by Lu. She replied immediately. Calm down. She's strong. And you are too. But he wasn't sure he was. Half an hour passed. Then an hour. No update. Every time the elevator doors opened, he stood. Every time a nurse walked past, he asked. They all said the same thing. She's being monitored. The doctor will speak with you soon. But soon began to feel like never. He sat down again. And then, for the first time, he cried. Not the kind of tears you see on drama sets. Not soft and beautiful and well lit. No, this was the kind that came in waves. Silent at first. Then shaky. Then ragged. His face in his hands. His chest rising and falling with panic. His body curling forward like he was trying to hold his heart in place. A nurse walked by and froze. Mr. Shu, she said softly. He looked up, and his face was pale. I'm sorry, he whispered. You don't have to apologize, she said. Let me get you some water. She left. And that was when it happened. He stood to walk toward the vending machine. And everything went black. The crash was quiet. Just a dull sound of a body hitting the floor and a chair scraping across tiles. The nurse returned seconds later to find Shu Kai on the ground, eyes closed, one hand clutching the chair leg like he was trying to stay grounded in a dream. Chaos followed. 3 more nurses arrived. A doctor was called. A wheelchair brought in. They checked his pulse, his oxygen, his breath. He came to quickly, eyes dazed, and tried to stand. Don't move, they said. I need to see her, he mumbled. Where is she? Where is Songyun? You need to rest, the doctor said. Your blood pressure dropped. You fainted from emotional distress. You're dehydrated. You've been sitting in panic for 2 hours. I don't care, he said. Tell me she's okay. The doctor hesitated. Then nodded slowly. She's stable. The baby is stable. But we're keeping her for close monitoring. She's experiencing signs of premature labor triggered by stress. She's resting now. Shu Kai exhaled so sharply the nurse beside him flinched. Tears again. But this time mixed with relief and leftover fear. They brought him into a private room next to hers. He didn't sleep. He sat in the chair and stared at the wall. Later that night, a nurse handed him her phone. She left this unlocked, she said. There's a note on it. You should see. He opened it. It was a voice recording. Soft. Fragile. But hers. She must have recorded it in the early morning hours. If anything happens to me, she said, tell the baby I loved them. Tell them I was ready, even when I was scared. And tell Shu Kai that no matter what I said, I never wanted to face this without him. He played it 3 times. And then collapsed again, but this time into silent sobs against the wall, rocking slowly, holding her phone against his chest like it was a part of her. The next morning, she woke up. He was at her bedside, hair messy, eyes swollen, hand in hers. You fainted, she said, voice barely audible. He nodded. I didn't know how scared I was until I lost sight of you for 1 second, he replied. I'm sorry, she whispered. You're not allowed to apologize, he said. Only I am. She smiled faintly. You came back, she said. Always, he whispered. Even if I have to crawl. The doctor came in shortly after and told them the baby was doing well, but Tan would be staying under observation for a few more days. You need rest, he said. Both of you. And no more collapsing. They laughed softly. Later that evening, photos leaked. A staff member had discreetly taken a picture of Shu Kai unconscious on the hospital floor. It hit the internet like wildfire. Within minutes, Shu Kai collapse trended #1. Fans were horrified. Theories swirled. Is the baby gone? Did Tan lose consciousness too? Are they separating again? But then another photo was shared. It was blurry but clear enough. Shu Kai and Tan Songyun, sitting together in bed, her head on his shoulder, his hand on her belly. No filter. No makeup. Just raw love. And suddenly, the tears fans cried were not from fear, but from awe. They had watched this couple break, bend, fall, heal, fight, and fall again. And somehow, they were still standing. No, not standing. Sitting together. In love. Still choosing each other. Even when everything else tried to pull them apart. And in a world of drama and destruction, that was more powerful than any fairytale. It was real. And real was more than enough. I don't want to do this without you, Tan Songyun's tears after Shu Kai's collapse melt hearts across the country. The world had seen Shu Kai collapse. They had seen the photo of him lying helpless on the hospital floor. They had seen the blurry footage of nurses rushing, fans crying, and cameras flashing through hospital windows. But what they had not seen was what happened after, when Tan Songyun woke up, fragile and sore, and found the man she loved barely able to keep his head up beside her bed. She did not speak at first. Her fingers moved gently to his, and when she felt his warmth, her tears slipped without warning. You scared me, she whispered. Shu Kai lifted his head slowly. His voice cracked. I thought I lost you. You almost lost yourself, she said, brushing her fingers through his hair. The room was silent, but the air between them was full of words they didn't have the strength to say. So she broke it gently, saying the one thing he never thought she would admit. I don't want to do this without you. He blinked. Don't say that, he said. I mean it, she replied. The baby. The pain. The fear. It's all too much if you're not next to me. I'll never leave again, he promised. Not even for 1 minute. That promise would be tested just hours later. Because as the night deepened and Tan Songyun drifted into another uneasy sleep, a new complication emerged. The monitors beeped. Not loud. Just faster. A nurse rushed in. Her contractions are irregular, she said to the doctor. But they're closer now. Shu Kai stood, breath stuck in his chest. The doctor read the vitals, then looked at him carefully. She's not going into labor, he said. But she's dangerously close. And her body is under stress. Can I stay? Shukai asked. You're the only one who should. So he stayed. Through the night, he rubbed her back, whispered into her ear, spoke softly to the baby. And every time the monitor beeped too fast, he squeezed her hand and said, "We're okay. You're okay. We're not doing this apart." And for once, that was enough. The baby stayed. The danger passed. By morning, she was stable again. But that's not what made headlines. What took over the internet was a photo captured by a young nurse who couldn't hold it in anymore. Shu Kai, sitting in the hospital bed behind Tan Songyun, holding her from behind, both hands on her belly, his head resting on her shoulder. Her eyes closed. Their breathing synchronized. The caption the nurse added, "This isn't just love. This is war. And they're winning it together." Overnight, fans flooded social media with prayers, art, poems, and messages. "I'll never complain about love again," one wrote. "They are rewriting what love looks like under pressure," another added. But inside that hospital room, none of that mattered. What mattered was this: that they had almost lost each other. And now they were holding on with both hands.